There's a place I have found in the shade on the ground, far from all worries and troubling sound. When I go there to be by myself, only me. No one can guess what I came there to see. There's a sun in the sky, there's a cloud drifting by. All kinds of birds make you wish you could fly. And in the distance I see someone waving at me. I hope that it's you, but who else could it be?
Hey, it's Monday morning here at the Untold Radio Network studios here for coffee time. It's going to be a fun show this morning. We've got Alex Hajicek joining us, and Doug's going to be popping in here at some point too. That'll be fun. Welcome everybody to chat. We've got plenty of viewers popping on already. That's exciting. Starting your Monday morning out with us, we're honored. We're honored, just make yourself look busy if you're at work so nobody suspects anything, and just come hang out with us for a while. It'll be fun. You pull Alex in here. Hey, Alex, how are you this morning?
Good. How you doing?
I'm hanging in there. How was your weekend?
Wonderful. Don't ask me personal questions. I don't have any interesting answers.
What do you mean don't ask you personal questions? That's the whole point of the show. Everybody wants to learn about Alex Hajicek. Tell us, what's the biggest secret you've kept from your father?
Yeah, someone's got to be the mysterious one.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I don't know if you got to see any of the comments that started up about in our chat here about a half an hour before we went live. Everybody's talking about how much they love Alex, how they could watch Alex and Doug all day long, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, don't let it go to my head.
No.
That might be out of control.
Everybody says, "Oh, I could watch. Alex is so nice and he's so funny, and Doug's so smart, and this and that." And I thought, well, wait a minute here now. We should have an online Jeopardy thing some Monday morning. I mean, I know Doug will win. I'll just concede to that right away. But I mean, it would be fun. I've always felt like if I was ever on that show, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, like when you get to the $1 million question, Doug would be the guy that you'd call for the help. I would like to call a friend.
Phone a friend.
Yeah. No, I think that's your ringer that you'd keep in the pocket there. But
so what's your favorite show on the network besides Untold Radio?
I'm not allowed to pick mine, right?
Yeah, you can't pick yours either.
I wouldn't have picked mine. Well, geez, when I watch them all, there are things about all of them that I really appreciate, and a lot of it is just the personality of the host. I mean, they're each one is uniquely different. Each
so
show is uniquely different. When I say that, when I tell people, there's something here for everybody, it's such a literal statement because the shows really differ quite a bit from each other. I mean, I tend to operate from the corner of the room I'm familiar with. I talk about the nuts and bolts part of research when it comes to Sasquatch, but I am really intrigued when other shows are talking about ufology and, ghosts and things like that, But as far as the favorite goes, you guys are going to think I'm just sucking up to the boss, but I really enjoy watching you and Doug, to be honest with you. But But I do like watching Russ and Brad, and I love watching Dr. Dean Bertram and Jason McLean and the
Dr. Dean.
discussions that they have. And Jay and his wife. You know, it's just and now Jim Myers is on with Sasquatch Outpost. But what's really interesting is even though a few of our channels really approach the Bigfoot subject, they do it differently. You know,
They
I
all
mean,
do.
some of Jim's beliefs are a little bit different than the way that I would approach it, and vice versa. And same with Russ. You know, I don't think you see 100% carbon
Overlap.
copy across the
Yeah.
board. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
It'd be interesting to map out, you know, where everyone lies on that spectrum of, you know, what they believe in. You know, do you think it's supernatural? Do you think it's
yeah, it would be interesting to have it graphed out because, you know, I maybe you've sensed this too when you and Doug have guests on. I've had guests on where, you know, I don't know that I would align everything that I believe or my hypothesis on a subject
yeah.
really aligns with where they're at. I think where they've arrived and what the most plausible explanation for a certain thing is different than where I arrive at. But, you know, even when somebody's opinion is different than mine, if they're the type of person that's going to say, well, let me explain to you why I feel this way, and they go into all the thought that they put in it, I really appreciate that, you know, hearing a different viewpoint simply because it may be something that I haven't considered before, you know. But
have you ever had a guest change your mind, an opinion about anything as far as research, Bigfoot, anything actually?
Yeah, I have. I mean, I don't know if they changed my mind 180 degrees, you know, but they made me look at stuff a little bit different, maybe consider something a little bit different than I had been.
What was it?
Well, I think that one had to do with forest language. You know, a lot of the stuff that you see. I'm starting to get to where I put less and less weight into that. And I never was the type of person to go, oh my gosh, those two trees are laying in an X. It must be Bigfoot that made, you know, that was never me. But just that idea that this world evolves around us. I mean, somebody picks something up or it was hanging on a branch and they're like, oh, it left it for me. It's like, well, you know, maybe it didn't leave it for you, you know. I don't think you are what Bigfoot was thinking of when if it in fact left that there. But yeah, you know, just the way that you look at different areas, you bring up something that I think is actually kind of fascinating. If you could graph out maybe between myself and you and Doug, and I'd love to see your brother Blaine's interpretations, Dr. Russ, Brad, you know, Jim Myers, everybody, you know, when it comes to this subject or that subject, or what's your idea of this, how different those may lie, you know, because I think there is a pretty good mappable difference in the way people kind of perceive things when it comes to this subject. But
and how have your views changed over time since you've been, like, how long have you been interested in the field?
Well, I would say I've been actively, you know, the word research has almost came to carry a negative you know, connotation compared to how some people perceive it, I guess. But I've been trying to be in the field getting answers for that for a while, but I've been a hunting guide and grew up in really remote areas, you know, for decades. But never really when I was out there was it like when I'm walking down a trail, I'm looking for elk sign, not Bigfoot sign. You
So
know
you
what
spend
I
a
mean?
lot of time in the woods.
Yeah. My dad was a hunting and fishing guide, so I can remember at 14 years old being in Montana and big game hunting, and in areas that are really off the grid. You're not within 3-4 miles of a convenience store. You're like 8-mile horseback ride
8 miles.
from the nearest fire trail. So, and areas like, northern Idaho and Montana, Wyoming, and southern Manitoba, Saskatchewan. I mean, just remote areas that really had an opportunity to learn things when I was young from, not just my dad, but other guides that would be with us at times. But most of that was really outdoorsmanship. It really wasn't anything to do with Bigfoot. None of them, to my knowledge, were ever really looking for any sign of Bigfoot. When I was 18 and had my encounter and my experience, it made me look at the outdoors differently. But even then, when I would be out hunting or something, I really wasn't. First of all, when you're guiding like 1 or 2 clients out, whether you're archery hunting elk or whatever, you're not really operating with that whole, man, what's that? Can I see any Bigfoot over here? Is there any sign on this trail or whatever? But you do look at the outdoors a little bit differently in your peripheral.
Did you ever have an escape plan if one of them attacked you guys on the trails? Like push the short one over and run?
I didn't really think about that kind of stuff much while we were actively hunting or traveling there during the day. For me, it's more in the evening, especially if you're out there with horses or if you're out there with ATVs and you're really off the grid and you're thinking about, where do I put up my tent? I mean, what I do is one of the things I pay attention to is really looking at the terrain, like in detail, looking at the terrain. Like when you come out of that tent, how far can you go before you trip over that log? You better be turning around, just kind of understand what things look like
Trying
in
to
the
keep
dark,
your footing,
so to speak. Maybe most people wouldn't do that. They just think, hey, here, set up my tent and whatever. But
so
what a harsh plan. Yeah, figure out who you can sacrifice in order to create your getaway.
So you were more concerned about just the layout of the land and making sure you're not tripping over logs and making your way through the forest.
My experience from when I was in the military kind of taught me that in high duress situations, they become most chaotic when you're unfamiliar with the layout. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you don't know what the map looks like in your head, then you're not only having to deal with what's happening around you, you're having to deal with what's laid out around you.
You don't know. Yeah. You don't know how to tactically operate.
Yep. And Outback says that I have just the one experience. That's the only one that I've ever laid my eyes on when I was 18. But throughout research, like the research I was doing a year and a half ago in the Pine Island Forest of northern Minnesota, I would hear, I wouldn't call them vocalizations, but you would hear things that I couldn't attribute to natural, what I would consider to be a natural source. And also experience like knocking sounds and things like that. Especially after a while, as I'd kayak up the river, I'd hear it. But I never really laid my eyes on one since I was 18 years old. But
If you were to have an encounter today, like, how scared do you think you'd feel? Or like, would you just be excitement? I mean, like, there's got to be a part of you that really would want another encounter, but really is hesitant.
I guess it would depend on. That's one thing you learn about hearing everybody else's encounters right away in your head. You're kind of comparing it to the parallel of what other
Other
things
people
that
have had.
are other things that are kind of in tune with what you experience and what's different than what you experience, things like that. But I don't think that I would want to experience another encounter like I had. I would love to see another one again, but I don't care to see it from 15 feet away or anything like that again.
Hey guys.
Hey, Doug. I do think it was helpful though, Alex, that when I was 18 and had my encounter, I didn't have a whole lot of reference for this. I mean, I've said this an awful lot. I didn't grow up in a family that told Bigfoot stories around the fire. I never had an uncle that had seen anything like that. And so when I had my encounter, I think it was more of a kind of a shock, like trying to make sense of what is this, rather than if I was to have an encounter now after trying to educate myself and learning from others and all that stuff. It would definitely be different than the one that I had, but I think it actually served me well that I didn't have a reference, because I didn't react in any way that was threatening to it or anything too stupid.
You saw it with fresh eyes.
I saw it as a kid who was trying to figure out what the hell is this, But
so what are you guys talking about? I overheard obviously your encounter.
Well, we were talking about if we had an online Jeopardy game here, would you actually be able to beat me and Alex? And unanimously, everyone in chat said yes. No, I joked with Alex. I said, if I was ever on the game, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Yeah.
When I'm going for the $1 million question, you would be the guy that I'd like to phone a friend.
Oh, there. Thank you. I'd probably give you the wrong answer.
Yeah. I could have that in my pocket to play for the rest of my life. Yeah, I didn't want you to win, Jeff. Didn't want you to leave the network.
I'm a giant bag of worthless facts. So a lot of worthless stuff. So hopefully we can talk about Legend Meets Science and get that out of the way.
Yeah. Let me
So it might be even cool to have Alex give us kind of an insider of what it takes to put what it took to put this Kickstarter together.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
That's a lot of, it's a lot of work. And why Kickstarter over GoFundMe?
Yeah.
Those are hard questions.
Kickstarter, just because it's bigger, it's more popular, but the actual project, I mean, obviously there's so much, like, this is going to be like this will be the biggest Bigfoot documentary ever. The amount of science Doug wants to put into it, and trying to communicate that is really challenging because there's so much content. There's so much stuff that, he wants to do, and communicating that precisely, but, getting all the details and coming up with the rewards and the logistics and the scripting. It's
a lot of work.
It was a big project.
It's the reason, Jeff, I didn't tackle it, because it's overwhelming.
It's too much.
But then again, I've seen other Kickstarters that are like 12 words. Just give me money because I'm doing this.
Well, I think the ones that are best
work into it.
The ones that are best laid out and the most effective at raising money are ones that do have a good incentive program built in. And I think you guys did an excellent job with that.
Yep.
We're very fortunate here at Untold to have that direct relationship with Hanger One Publishing and be able to feature all of the different authors that write books on the subject and
Yeah,
kind of
including
make
you.
those.
Your book just came out. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like what, 2 days ago?
I don't know.
Friday?
I think it's 2 days from now yet. I have no.
No, I think it was released
gonna be
what, Alex?
available.
Friday?
Yeah.
Friday
It's
it was
gonna be
released.
available
Jeff.
on Amazon before everywhere else, but
It is, yeah, right now. Yep. Anyhow, back to all I can say about, really Legend Meets Science, and I can get into some of the content, but people are really funding science, forensic tests that have never been done, new categories of evidence looked at new ways. Our goal is to raise the bar on the topic, not just entertain you.
Yeah.
So you're really funding history. I like to tell people that because I feel that way. Only because we have the samples to get tested. So I don't know what you want to add to that, Alex, but
Yeah, I think it's a super ambitious project. I think this could do a lot of good. This could bring a lot of awareness, a lot of education, and just you guys need to back it. I mean, there's science tests Doug wants to do that have never been done before. And the big thing is there's so many people that have evidence, but they don't have the money to do the tests.
Yeah.
And this will give us that ability to, prove a lot of things that they're just a test or two away from being proven.
Yeah. No,
I
that's
think
true.
it's important when you say, this is going to be the most important documentary on the subject. If you look at how monumental the original Legend Meets Science was in 2000, was it 2005 or 4 when it first came out? It was 2005, wasn't it, Doug?
2001.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
I'm off. I thought it was 2004 or
It was
5.
22 years ago.
Yeah. Man, time flies, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
But you look at how monumental that was at the time, and then you look at different documentaries that are made, and I appreciate seeing, all of them. I love what a lot of these documentary makers are doing now. But, in almost every one, there's a degree of entertainment that's really, that's what the purpose of it was, is not just educational, but maybe entertaining. This is just packed with just the approaching it not from a Hollywood type standpoint. You know what I mean? It's going to be packed with features and segments that are just educational and helpful to those who are trying to learn about Sasquatch.
Well, let me go through the just the chapters real quick, not the content, because that would take forever. But like unknown sounds, right? And we're gonna do the best job ever to where everybody's gonna end up being an expert on these unknown sounds, which there's huge. I mean, there's just under that. Just give an example. We have the math, because Bigfoot sounds, the mathematics are very different than humans. We're going to cover infrasound. We're going to test the distance of infrasound made by a primate. The effects, how can it be made by a primate? We've got a volunteer. We're going to actually film inside their body of how infrasound is made in a primate. How they mimic communication, language, creating fear. We're going to do field efforts. And obviously, your imagination can go wild there. We're going to put the best of the best in field efforts. Forensics, huge category. How-to, huge category. We're going to teach, how to collect evidence, how to do this, how to do that. We're going to do GIS breakdowns that will blow people's minds away with huge databases. Anatomical breakdowns of Bigfoot, what we know, what we don't know. We're going to cover so many things just with that one category. Symbiotic relationships that Bigfoots may have with ravens, coyotes, wolves, flying squirrels, blah, blah, blah. possible super abilities. We're going to cover it all. And we're going to cover whys and hows and why is it inferred. We're going to cover the vision. We're going to be looking at the teeth, the food supplies, migration routes, sexuality, stick structures, possible uses, locations, fulcrum construction. Are they man-made or Bigfoot? We're going to figure this out. Camouflage. We're going to cover all sorts of really amazing eyewitnesses. And then we're going to cover mistaken identity. And we may even dip in a little bit into the some of the woo and some of the witnesses of that. So there you go.
Wow. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot.
It is a lot. It's definitely a lot. So I'm going to turn my camera off now too.
Just pulling this back.
Let's just turn on the cameras. Just leave Alex. Just leave Alex on. So anyhow, Alex is gone now too.
Yeah, right.
He's funning with us. Anyhow, so and I'm happy to talk about all the sub things in these, but man, it goes deep, and we're not going to be limited on length of time. So, like when I did the first one, a lot of people are confused when Legend Meets Science came out because I aired it on Discovery Channel, and they had an exclusive on it for quite a long time. I couldn't release the DVDs, so that's where people might get confused.
Yeah,
on when it was produced. It was produced when it aired in Discovery, which was in 2001. And so you're very limited in time. Not only are you going to have commercials in this 1 hour program, you're just very constrained, on their clock. They give you a clock and you have to, restrain everything to that clock. With this one, I have all the freedom in the world. I'm still going to keep it fast paced, still going to keep it, with a Monster Quest style editing, but it's going to be packed with information, far deeper. I mean, this is basically Monster Quest rebooted in a lot of ways. So,
that's really one of the worries that I had was that when you first shared with me all the stuff that you wanted to include in this, had it been partnered with any of the networks, then you kind of wonder how much of it's going to hit that cutting room floor, like you talk about with the original one. It's nice to know that you have that creative control to not have to exclude anything if you don't want to.
Well, here's the other thing about the funding this particular doc. This will affect I get letters every day. Can you bring back Monster Quest, Monster Quest, Monster Quest? Well, I don't really care about a title. They're after the content that we provided. So if this doesn't get funded, it could affect all of the programs I do in the future. If this is successful, then we can continue to use this formula to just keep going, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And so it's pretty important. Very important.
Yeah, Caillou had asked a question. Tristan asked a question, but I don't know if that was one that you were wanting to let out of the bag or not. But I know originally you had talked a little bit about there was going to be a different look to the PG film that nobody has really seen before as far as the analysis of
that's our plans. And yes, we are going to analyze some other things, but I can't talk about it for legal reasons. So there we go. It's one of those things we have to pay for it before we can find out exactly what's in it.
Yeah, well, just everybody needs to.
Everybody will get their money's worth, I guarantee, because just the rewards alone, are worth the investment.
Absolutely.
And people have to understand this money doesn't all come to us. Kickstarter takes a big cut, and then we have to provide all of these rewards. So, and then the labor that goes into all of this, and on and on and on. And so I'll no doubt be funding a good portion of this project with any of my savings. So,
well, I thought it was pretty neat when you seen how many of our authors at Hangar One were willing to, donate e-copies of the books in order to help kind of incentivize the And what's great is, I mean, the first time I went to look at this, let me pull this up here and share it. First time I went to look at it, I was thinking that, wow, you'll have to give a lot in order. It's crazy how this is really, first of all, for $10, you get your name in the credits of Legend Meets Science too. I mean, that I couldn't imagine that you could do that for $10, but then you start talking about getting the DVD copies and, or I'm sorry, the e-copies of
Right.
part 2 for $30, which that's what it would have cost you to buy them probably at least anyways, so basically that's just a pre-order. Then you look at with a $90 pledge, not only are you getting those e-copies, but you're getting 4 different books.
Yeah, they keep building. So every level you get all the things above it.
It's
plus
crazy.
Yep.
Yeah, you could build up a library pretty quickly.
How many levels are there, Alex?
There's like 9 or 10. I think there might be
9 or
10.
10. Jeff Smith was kind enough to say, okay, as of right now, if just 5,000 people can give $15 each, this thing will be fully funded. Yep. Thanks, Jeff.
Yeah. Well, I love how you can get the Sasquatch edition of one of your custom built bikes on the top tier. And I know when you look at the price tag of that and think, wow, that's a lot of money. You don't realize what that bike costs.
Yeah, and I'm going to personally
a lot of
build
people
it,
don't
so.
realize what goes into
and
that
for what
bike,
it's worth,
so.
for what it's worth, I'll autograph it. So after I kick the bucket, it might have a little value back. So.
Yeah,
we got to remember too, you also get to be in the doc, you get the executive producer credit, you get all the rewards below, but more importantly, right, you're supporting science and proof the existence of Bigfoot, so obviously you wouldn't want to donate that unless you had the disposable income, and obviously you want to get this off the ground.
So did you know, so here's what we're looking for. There's 32 people, right, in this world. They have more money than the bottom 3.5 billion people. They would not miss funding all of
they would.
Science. They wouldn't have, it wouldn't matter. So when you look at it that way, there's got to be some people that, can afford this, that have a mild interest in it even.
That's why I think I would be a great philanthropist. If I won like 500 million in Powerball, I'd be sitting around, I'd see something like this. What do you need, 80 grand? I'm in, man.
Absolutely. I mean, a lot of good can come out of this. We don't know. I mean, we are planning on sequencing the entire genome properly with credible people, credible universities. People have told me, yes, if we do get the results, they are willing to publish a proper scientific paper for the journals. So it could be a big game changer. It's going to raise the bar. I mean, we're not going to prove without any doubt the existence. Even a body wouldn't do that probably. But the bar will be raised, guaranteed. It raised it last time, right? Out of the last talk I did, the book got written, 400-page scientific book. Another big scientific book is going to be written on this. The new book, Alex, will have the immersive book technology in it, where there'll be animation, audio, video in the book, in the new Legend Meets Science book.
In Jeff Meldrum's book, yeah.
Yep. That's being written. So obviously Jeff can't finish it until the doc is done. So, but it's going to be it's kind of a big deal, because you're not only funding the doc, you're funding the book getting made. And I don't know how many people have Legend Meets Science book, but it is by no doubt the best scientific book ever written on the topic. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So anyhow, we don't have to stick on that forever, but that kind of is the pitch, and we really do appreciate anything, highly, highly appreciate.
Yeah, we don't want anybody to go, take a second mortgage on their house or
No, but if you can spare 10
sell their
bucks,
car or
$5,
something.
yeah, it'd be awesome.
Absolutely. The power is in the numbers there. And
Yeah.
pretty aggressive timeline. We're trying to get it done in 30 days and we're going to have to finish strong to do it. But there was a reason for that too. I mean, you've got a lot of stuff ready to go into these
Yeah.
studios and get working on. I mean,
Yep. Well, not only will the film be, obviously have a great content, but we've partnered with one of the best cinematographers in the world, with the best equipment in the world available. So that this is going to be a real epic Bigfoot film. So it's going to be very epic.
Yeah, and not only consider donating, but share it. And if you can't donate, if you're really strapped right now, share it. Like,
Yeah.
get the word out. If you can
Yeah,
even
absolutely.
do that, that would
That's
help
huge
so
help.
much.
Yep. We put a little labor into it. We'd highly appreciate it. We'd love it to go viral. We'd love it to get into the hands of some, bigger donors that can step up. And that won't happen unless it's shared.
yeah.
So,
I might start doing that on my show as far as on Pine Island Research, maybe doing a little incentive, giving away one of my ebooks or something if somebody was to share it from our Untold page to their Facebook page, and we have the ability to see who shares it. We could enter them all into a drawing or something like that. There's little things we can do to help give people the incentive to maybe just put the word out.
yeah. So anyhow, that's it. I mean, that's all I really wanted to do. I was curious. One thing I was, Alex is my son, but you'd be surprised how many things you don't know about your adult kids. Right, Jeff? You know what I mean? There's stuff
I tried to start the show out like that. Alex said, "Don't ask." I asked him a personal question. He said, "Don't ask me personal questions." I said, "Alex,
no, but I've got a really great question to ask him, and it will reveal a little bit about Alex. What I want to know, and you too, Jeff. I've never asked you this, but let's start out with Alex. What in the world is on your bucket list of things to do in life? I mean, you're in the prime of your life right now, Alex.
Yeah.
Your whole life ahead of you. And hopefully you've got a list of things you want to accomplish or do it. Let's just say pleasurable. Let's start there. Just things that you would enjoy doing. Have you thought about that? Some people maybe don't have them, but I've never asked them that question. So I'm curious, what do you want to do? What's your bucket list? Where do you want to travel to? What do you want to do?
What does Jeff want to do?
All right, we'll start with Jeff. Let's start with Jeff.
Okay,
Let's start with.
He's the host of the show. You gotta warm me up.
Okay, well, I got a couple little things. One, I would let I'm a big hunter. I grew up in a family that spent an awful lot of time out in the woods hunting. I'd like to archery hunt moose in Canada, which is difficult. And the older I get, the harder it's going to be because you got to put a lot of miles under you in order to do something like that. But that's one thing I'd like to do. The other thing is, I'd like to go to Fiji and spend about 10 days in one of those huts right over the water,
Yeah,
I think that would be
clear blue water.
Oh man, just to wake up at 3 a.m, you can't sleep, just go jump off the deck into the water, swim around and go back to bed. I would I've been to the Keys and places like that, but boy, every now and then you see pictures of places like that and you just think I would love to go there, whether it was Fiji or Thailand or one of those really exotic places. I think that'd be fun. As far as other things, my bucket list are things that I know are going to happen. That's just a matter of time. I can't wait to see, my 17 and 18-year-old sons, start their careers and, start families and things like that. I mean, to me, I'd pick that over any destination I would be able to go to. But And then one other thing is I do want to I don't know, maybe this is just my middle age deal, but I would like to I bought a car that I would like to restore. I bought a 87 IROC Camaro. I'd like to
Oh,
restore
cool.
it, and
Nice.
I'm doing that, kind of working on that with my sons, and it'll be cool someday when we get it done and the three of us can go ride around.
That's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work.
A lot of money.
Yeah, it actually, I was wanting to put a newer, like a 6.2 liter newer motor in it, so it had the dependability and the drivability of a newer
Oh,
car.
crate motor. Yeah, you want to put a crate motor.
And my youngest son, who's 17, totaled my Yukon Denali here a couple months ago, which really, I was so glad that he was okay. But I mean, it was really a bummer for me. However, we get to use the motor out of it to put in this car now.
There you go.
He
There
was
you
telling me the
go.
other night, we were standing in the garage looking at it. He says, man, he says, you can thank me anytime you want for wrecking your Yukon, because we didn't have a motor for this thing until I did.
Yeah.
But no, I don't have anything too out
Oh,
there.
that doesn't sound greedy
No.
or too. It sounds like all very achievable. The grandkids is certainly a cool thing, and also, and just seeing your kids get older and get married and have kids, and so anyhow, that brings us to Alex. Now you're on the. So what are some things that you want to do? Some of them are probably nerdy, right, Alex?
Well, I just, I want to have kids and see them grow up and
Yeah, that'd be cool.
get married.
Me too.
Start their career.
Yeah.
How many kids do you think would be the right amount, Alex? Big family, little family?
Well, she wants 12.
Compromise at 6.
Start high and negotiate down.
Yeah, that's going to be a Kickstarter campaign in itself right there, right?
Yeah, we should start the GoFundMe now.
Yeah. That's crazy. What about travel? Where do you want to go? If you could snap your fingers and go anywhere in 3 seconds, where would you go?
Oh my God. There's this Star Wars hotel. It's like $5,000 a night. You get to stay in a spaceship.
Where's
Really?
that?
Where's this at?
Vegas or?
It's in Florida.
Really? At Disney World or near there?
Yeah, it's by the Star Wars theme park.
See, that's his nerdy side coming out.
Get
Right
to
there.
stay in a spaceship.
Oh my gosh. With just a small donation. Maybe I should start a GoFundMe for that. I just need $5,000 so I can stay for like 2 nights.
So is it really $5,000 a night, or?
I think it's ridiculous. It's something like that. And but like you don't even need to drive to the theme park. You take a little space shuttle.
Oh no. So if you could snap your fingers, that's where he'd go. Okay.
I'm seeing the generational difference here between mine and Doug's generation and Alex. I'm thinking a little hut in Fiji, and Alex is like, I could sleep in a spaceship.
Exactly. Oh, that's amazing. So what about beaches or any of that? Do you have any? You probably not. You're just not into that because you're not really a fisherman, correct?
Not a good one.
You're not really into
Not
that.
unless you're baiting my hook. I'm not catching anything.
Yeah, exactly. And you don't really like laying in the sun.
As you
the whole
can
day.
tell.
Huh? What did you
As
say?
you can tell by my complexion.
I think he said something like, hell no, Jeff. Hell no. Oh my God, that's funny. Well, a lot of people don't have huge bucket lists on traveling because there's so much on YouTube and things they can watch, and it does tend to kill people's desires.
You can almost
'cause they
travel
feel like-
vicariously online wherever you want to go.
You
Kind
can
of feel
even
like they've been there.
you can even do tours of VR now, so you could look around like you're actually there.
So put on so I always figured and Alex likes theme parks too, though. I know you do, right?
Oh yeah. Sign
So
me up.
put on that video too I sent you, Jeff. Here's what I
Okay.
picture Alex wanting to do here. Video 2, Alex.
All right, let's see how quick Jeff is on the draw.
I already told before we went live. I said, "Man, Alex, I've got a whole new appreciation for what Doug had doing here."
No pressure, Jeff.
No pressure.
We're just waiting.
Yeah.
We're tapping.
I was telling Alex, says, "Man, I hate it when you pull up TikTok and it starts playing the vid for you, even get it shared." And he goes, "It happens to me all the time." But
So here. I think this is on Alex's dream.
Whoa, what the hell?
oh my God.
my
Oh
God,
no.
no way. Oh,
Yeah,
Oh, bad
I don't
connection.
know.
I think you guys get the picture, though. That's not on your bucket list.
That's
is
a
it?
lot going on there.
No, that looks absolutely terrifying.
Straight down
Oh
to
my-
terminal velocity. Yeah.
How many feet is that up?
How
Oh, it
about
just
those
keeps going and
parts where
going and
you
going.
go down the slide and you go over like the big jump and fly through the air and land in the pool. You've seen those videos. That
Well, when
I don't
you were
know that I'd
younger,
want to
Alex,
do that either.
when you were younger, Alex, we took you and your brother Blaine to those damn water slides over and over, sometimes every weekend.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, I
And-
remember that.
And of course, I would have to go, and I'd have to doing things like, "So we're going to go do the black hole, Dad. You coming?" And I'm like, "Okay." And I'd go
I'll
down
guard
the
the
black
deck
hole water
chairs.
slide. Yeah.
I just
Well-
that clip you showed, there's got like, how is someone not died going down that thing?
I know.
Just one
remember-
brave individual leans a little too far over.
Yeah. I remember we went took our family to a water park. It was in Denver called Water World. And it was one of the top 7 biggest water parks in the world. I
Yeah.
kind of did some research on it and it was cool. I mean, for me though, a water park, I like the lazy rivers. I like the tidal pools. I'm not really into the 8-story vertical drop.
Have you
You like
been
it-
to Wisconsin Dells, Jeff?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. So last time I went there, I did all the water parks. Oh my God, it's kind of fun. You feel like a little kid again, but some of that stuff, you definitely go, okay, I can't wait for this to be over.
You know, when I took the kids to Waterworld, they were like, 10 and 11. So most of the stuff they wanted to do was stuff I was okay doing too. It's when they get to be those young teenagers where it's like the slide can't be high enough for them at that point. That's
Yeah.
where I'm like, I don't know.
Oh, I was going to mention too I see Tristan's in the thing. So this Wednesday, we have found something very, very interesting in one of Tristan's actually maybe more than one of his recordings. And we're doing a show, you're going to hear this first, this term, about the Bigfoot purr. This piece of sound is so interesting, we feel we can devote almost 2 hours to it. So we're going to have some really interesting information this Wednesday at 7:00 on Untold
Nice.
Radio AM. So,
Oh,
and I don't
Yeah,
know.
when
if
I had him
I don't know if we're
on
going to
and-
have Tristan on. I don't know. Well, thinking
When I
about
had
it.
him on and we listened to a lot of his sound files, I didn't get to, a fourth of them.
No,
It
I
is
know.
crazy how many sound files he has collected. But yeah, no, that'll be a good show. I've got a video here that was taken, I believe, just this last week up in Kenai, Alaska,
What
of
is
a small movie theater that has a moose that broke through the front door and is eating out of
Oh,
the
no.
popcorn machine.
This happens quite a bit in.
I turned the music off
Alaska.
because I didn't.
Yeah. This happens quite a
Yeah.
bit in Alaska.
But there's
They
people
break it
there
down.
working in the kid working behind, bro, what are you doing? It
It's
has
the
some
invasion of
background
the
music that I
animals.
didn't know if it
Yeah,
was
the
copyrighted.
animals are invading, and we just have to learn to live with this kind of stuff. And he just wants to eat. He wants a snack.
Yeah.
I think a lot
Well,
of
I
the
thought that
animals
was
that break into Jeff, I think a lot of the animals that break into these buildings, they're actually on kind of on a higher IQ
yeah.
for animals. You know, they are. They're just thinking, you know, they're curious. They're just like, what's in there? Where other ones are like, no, they're not even thinking
There's
about it.
There's
Kinda
definitely an
interesting.
inquisitive aspect. You know, you kind of wonder if it wasn't outside and it just with that door open maybe smelled the popcorn, and rather than thinking, oh, I'm just going to keep walking, he said, I got to check this out, you know.
Yeah.
But
Yep. I
you
like how
shared a couple other things with me here. You got anything you want me to?
no, not totally yet. I did want to talk about. I did get
Okay.
I went out to lunch with a friend of mine who had a warning for everybody because this happened to him with this AI, you know, with the voice cloning that's going on and
Mhm.
so easy to do. He got a call from his son, which he swears was his son, who had inside information, blah, 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 and said that he had been in a car accident and that he was at some, you know, a certain police station in his town. And he was convinced that this had happened. And somehow they got disconnected. He ends up calling his son back. And his son goes, you know, what are you talking about? I'm at the vet. I'm with my cat, you know. But yet he was convinced. And of course, they're looking for, you know, donations. They were saying, well, his son was saying, well, they arrested me because I got in this car accident and I need bail money and blah, blah, blah. And you got to wire it. But just be careful. This is, I mean, there's nothing special about my buddy. He's just a regular
Yeah.
guy. And if he's getting calls like this, everybody be really careful.
Our local school districts here, where I live, we've got 5 high schools and probably about 15 elementaries in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. And the police department put out a message to all the parents in the school districts explaining this new chat AI feature that is on Snapchat and telling people to disable it. And evidently, that's exactly what this does. Is it uses your voice and starts? Well, first it will start texting on your behalf if it's activated, and by default, it's activated right now. If you've got Snapchat, by default, it's activated. So, if somebody was to
Scary.
text you, it's going to appear you're texting them back. If it comes to questions, you know, like if somebody said, if somebody texted you, Doug, and said, what are you up to this afternoon? It might text back something that it sees in your calendar or whatever. But the police department gave everybody instructions on how to deactivate this and said that it needs to be done because it's just not safe for kids.
Yeah, there's going to be so many criminals that are going to be learning from each other and trying different things and doing different things. It's not going to be pretty in the next year.
No.
It's not. I mean, do you have fears, Alex, about this? You know a lot about AI.
I think, you know, there's definitely cause to be concerned, but like anything else, it's going to be an arms race. You know, for every virus that comes out, there's an antivirus update, right? So there's going to quickly be ways to detect, and there already are tools that can help you detect AI text, and they're getting better all the time. So it's just, there's going to be like, you know, like everyone has a social security number. At some point, there's going to be a way to verify whether or not Doug actually said something, or did, you know, someone do a clone of Doug, and you'll just be able to check it and it'll be like, nope, this isn't from Doug. This is some random bot.
Yeah, no, it's just kind of scary. I mean, you use AI. I know you do, Alex. Are you using it to help you do some programming too at all? Or are you doing that on your own?
It has helped a little bit. It's helped me create some scripts, but you need to know, like at this point, you still need to be a programmer. You need to double check it. A lot of times, the first go around, it'll it'll be kind of right and it'll throw an error. But it can get you started. It's getting better for sure.
It's interesting because when you're talking about the subject, we're really talking about something that we don't know what this is going to look like literally even just a year from now.
Yeah.
And that's how fast the technology is moving. It's just liquid pace. But
Like I'm planning on doing some things with Bigfoot and AI, which it can take GIS data and do some really interesting things with it. And that'll be part of Legend Meets Science. But what about footage? Like Tristan asked, Doug and Alex, what are your thoughts on AI and Bigfoot hoaxing? AI at this point is really bad at doing videos. Don't you agree, Alex? And pictures.
Oh, it's horrible video. It's
Horrible.
getting better at an accelerated pace, but right now, even if you have access to it, it's like I couldn't do anything with it. Like, all right, you got this great tool. Well, what are you gonna generate something weird?
It's like it like takes the animals and it puts like weird things on them and like a big lump on their head, or its face will be constructed wrong.
But it's only as good as what you program it to be. Right now, what I see.
No, Jeff. No, because I know I've tried every professional prompt. It still isn't there yet.
Well, the point I'm making is we're familiar with what AI has done with image creation. Video creation. This is kind of where we're at with the big corporations that are trying. This is like a 1960s race to the moon. Who can get this stuff figured out, mapped out the fastest? And like Alex said, we're kind of at the mercy that for everything this side creates, there's going to be something else created to be able to detect, things like that. But right now, where I see probably in our near future, where it will be pertinent or at least seen in our communities in the hoaxing efforts, is that it will start with CGI. AI is only going to create what it's familiar with the reference to be. And if you can start creating all these CGI images of what you want that video program to understand what Bigfoot looks like, you could create some pretty interesting stuff with CGI.
Sure,
you start feeding that into an AI.
Signs. There has not been one animal that's ever been created with CGI that you cannot tell it's CGI, and that includes Bigfoot. There's a few videos, online right now that are created with CGI.
Oh yeah,
that maybe the average person might get fooled, or like half the people. But I within 1 second can tell it's CGI. Yeah. There's just certain gravity markers you can look at, and there's things that you can look at, and you just know.
It is concerning where this may be in a year or 2 years.
In a year, 2 years. I mean, it could get harder, but there's still something about any CGI created images, whether it's AI created CGI or just hand done CGI. There's limits to it. We will overcome it, and then it's going to be an issue.
I think the scariest issue with video AI in the future is that the ability to artificially write and replace metadata, and we've kind of seen that take place right now. I shared on my show the other night about how every year they do a federal waterfowl stamp, that if you're a hunter and you want to hunt waterfowl, you buy a stamp for it. And they give to artists and photographers. There's a big contest every year for this. And the government was giving out, I believe it was like $1 million or something crazy. It was several $100,000 to the photographer that they chose to use it. And that's a huge thing in that community, to be chosen for something like that. And they narrowed it down to 5 finalists, and one of the finalists looked at these other 4 pictures and said, wait a minute here. That picture there, a friend of mine took. I know the guy who took that picture.
And it had fake metadata?
And what they did is he got the original picture his friend took and gave it to them. And they looked at the picture that was submitted by this other artist, and compared the metadata, and they were different, and they couldn't tell which one was original.
What are your thoughts on that, Alex? On metadata, on photos?
Yeah, I mean, that stuff it can be manipulated, so easy.
Do you know how to do it?
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's not the thing is it's great. It'll capture a moment in time.
Yeah.
But then it just takes a bad actor to just change it all.
Yeah.
Nice.
And that's why I say, we're kind of at that mercy for every corporation that's out there trying to advance AI video and the ability to write artificial metadata. There's got to be somebody else that's in that race saying, here's how you detect and tell with this. And, hopefully there'll always be some sort of fail safe to be able to purge the real from the fake.
So at some point it'll basically, right now it's just basically like a database entry that's captured in time. Yeah, it's rendered in code. But at some point, and it's just independent to your device, so you can manipulate it. At some point, if this was really important for something that needed to be verified, it would be, at that moment in time when it's captured, it would go to some third party, like in the cloud, and it would be registered and it would be captured there in a place where you couldn't change it. Jeff, even if you wanted to, you couldn't change it.
Mm-hmm.
It'd basically be some serial ID code that would be attached to it. But here's the thing, right? Like, we're not at that point yet. Everyone likes to think of the doomsday of what's going to happen a year from now, 2 years from now, but they never think of in 2 years, there's going to be way better tools to moderate this stuff, to detect it, to, police it so it doesn't get out of hand.
Why do you think Elon is so sounding the alarm so vividly lately on AI? What are your thoughts? I'm sure you've heard his interviews.
Yeah, it's hilarious. It's because he's way behind the game and he wants time to catch up. So put the brakes on it so my company can come out with a competitor.
Right. Okay. He's not the leader in the race to the moon.
So you think it could be financially motivated?
It's totally financial. All the big guys, at least several of them have put out this thing like, we need to put the brakes on AI. Meanwhile, in the background, they're all developing their own systems. If they thought AI was such a threat, they wouldn't be developing their own.
Gotcha.
So it's definitely, I mean, it's getting more powerful all the time, but the fact that he's way behind the game on this, like, he used to be involved with OpenAI. They're the leader of AI right now. He's no longer associated with the company, and now he's coming up with a competitor. So they're way ahead of him. And so it's like, all right, guys, we need to put the brakes on this. We need to slow down. Meanwhile, he's trying to...
He just had a rocket blow up the other day. He's got a lot on his plate here.
Yeah.
What a $4 billion rocket.
That was interesting in itself. Were you guys aware?
I saw
I'm just out of the loop, right? But I didn't realize that, if you look at his timeline of development of what he was proposing the pace would be, that his goal is that's supposed to be a craft that will carry 200 humans to Mars.
Yep.
And his map to do that is not far down the road. I mean, and I'm thinking, okay, but who's going to... Are you buying a seat on that after seeing this?
Yeah, but aren't his plans to get 100,000 people or more on Mars?
Yeah.
In his lifetime. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's insanity. It's insane. I guess it's possible, but it just sounds crazy. I don't think that rocket explosion will put him back far. He'll be right back.
Yeah, but he's going to have to stop he'll have to stop blowing up rockets. That's step one.
Don't you think they blow those up on purpose? They push them beyond their safety limits on something? Did they do it on purpose to find that finite limit?
Well, it makes you wonder if really what they were testing was something early in that stage. They wanted to figure out the process of something and how well it was working.
Yeah.
And once they've got that data, blow it up, because I don't want any of our competition retrieving something, finding something out, just scuttle the ship, so to speak.
Well, if I'm going to test a motor, if I'm General Motors and I want to see where the motor, how long it's going to last or what it's going to do, one of the tests is going to be just to put it pedal to the metal, max RPMs, and just see how long it'll run till it explodes.
Sure.
And so I think
Yeah.
that's what he was doing. That's my
Yeah.
feeling.
I could definitely see that.
So it may not have been a failure. It may have been a limit. So now he knows the limit on something, with the current technology. So it may have been a learning tool on purpose,
Yeah. He could be playing 4D chess.
Yeah, 40. Yeah, exactly. He is a very smart guy. I mean, he's pretty fascinating to listen to. He's very robotic.
Yeah. Some people suspect he's an alien.
Yeah.
I think Joe Rogan asked him.
Yeah, he did. He did.
Yeah,
I missed that.
Yeah. I'm going to play something here real quick for an intermission. We'll be right back.
Show your support for the Untold Radio Network family of shows and join in on the conversation by using super stickers and super chats on YouTube. Got a question you want answered? Ask it live via a super chat and get real-time responses from our show's knowledgeable hosts and guests. Help keep the Untold Radio Network shows running strong. We need your support. Send your super chats and stickers now.
And we're back.
We're back.
And we should thank Long Island Bigfoot. Thank you very much for the super sticker, and Jennifer, Jennifer Arnold, who also donated $2. Thank you, Jennifer.
Appreciate it.
It's all appreciated, trust me. We're largely volunteers doing all this stuff, and it does help.
So, Alex, on your bucket list, it wasn't one of the 200 seats to Mars isn't on it, or?
I'm gonna stay in the fake spaceship, of the hotel spaceship.
Yeah, there you go. Much safer.
The 3D. What do they call it? The IMAX one. I'll take the seat at the IMAX one.
Yeah. Yeah, what he said at some point, he's like, the people going up there, they're not coming back. So you better hope you get along with those people.
Say, Alex, I want to take have you ever been on a long train trip?
Yeah, those are fun.
I want to do the Vancouver to Toronto trip. It's a 4-day trip, goes all the way across all 5 provinces. You get a luxury room, like your Star Trek. You're right. We can decorate the room so we can put some photos up. And you're gonna have a shower. Imagine having even a shower in your room on the train.
Oh, that's cool.
So that sounds fun, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I want to do that.
I think it'd be cool to.
I want to drag you on a trip, Alex. Trust me.
Amtrak has one that goes out to, is it Seattle too? That goes across Montana and Idaho and stuff. I don't know if it's St. Louis.
With all the Amtrak
Seattle,
derailments, I don't know.
Oh, do I hear danger?
I don't know. I think somebody's putting something on the track.
Yeah.
I wonder about that there's been a little bit of monkey business on the train tracks lately.
Yeah.
I don't know if Canada has the same kind of system. I've never noticed. Do they have the same track system we do? Can somebody look that up? I'm curious. Is it the same?
Look it up.
It's kind of archaic. Yeah, Jeff, look it up.
Come on, Jeff.
You're the new Alex.
I know some. I was involved with a white sand company in Wisconsin, and we shipped white sand, fine white sand for oil drilling platforms.
Like silica?
Up to North Dakota and into Canada. And I know the same trains would run from North Dakota all the way up into Saskatchewan. And
so it's the same archaic
must be the same
track system. Yeah, it's just so archaic compared to like China and Japan, and where their trains do 200 miles an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Our trains tip over at 50.
Yeah.
It's kind of scary. I just wonder, why don't they ever update that? I mean, the trains have been the same since the, 1800s. Why don't they upgrade?
Well, Elon Musk wants to do the Hyperloop.
Yeah, I realize that. And I think it's a good start. But we need a good system for freight and travel and everything, I mean, we have the Have you ridden the passenger train that loops around Minneapolis and heads out to the suburbs? Have you ridden that train, Alex?
No, I haven't. Have you?
No, I've not. I don't know why I haven't. I just haven't. In fact, didn't we helped design some part for the door, as I remember.
Makes you wonder if some of that development is on hold. Just because.
Didn't we, Alex? Are you aware of that?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we helped develop. I'm not going to get into the product. I don't want to even talk about it, but we helped develop a part for the door.
It's top secret, Jeff.
Yeah.
By the way, are you looking that up?
One of the 1,000 patents that Doug designed in his fleet one night.
Me, Blaine, and Alex did. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we
some of that
Jeff,
development.
have you looked that thing up about the trains?
No. I thought we were past that.
He's like, I'll just wait. I'll just forget about it.
Yeah, we'll forget about it.
I'm
if we let him.
I'm not on computers. I'm not.
That's why he made up that answer, Alex, so he didn't have to look it up. It's the same. It's the same.
No, it's the same. It's confirmed.
We don't know for sure.
Do you think some of that technology is not being advanced right now because of the whole fossil fuel driven versus electric driven? We don't have maybe the technology in place to do something like that across the country.
I don't know. I just think
money into doing it with diesel or rocket fuel or anything else either, because that's bad.
Well, I think it's the track system. It's the wheels. It's the tracks. It's all that stuff. I mean, we don't need a 200-mile-an-hour train, but
no, we need.
We're having derailments every day. We need to have a train that doesn't derail.
It needs to go above 50. We'll start there.
And doesn't derail.
Did you guys
know
technology that's different? I would not want to invest a lot of my money into a company that is so easy for your competitor to just put something on the track and
put a rock
train
on the
over.
track. Yeah,
doesn't seem like there's a lot of protection there.
No, there's not, and I don't like that either. I've done quite a few passenger trains in the U.S. and I enjoy them, but I do worry. You do worry about tipping over in one of them things. And some of those bridges that go over vast chasms are made of wood still. And they're old.
And who's checking those bridges?
Oh my God, nobody is.
They're just rotting away.
They're on a wing and a prayer. Did you know that there's one train in Canada that goes uphill all the way there and uphill all the way back?
Oh.
So how is that accomplished?
I went on something similar to that.
It's uphill all the way to the low. It's the Hudson. If you go up to Churchill from like Winnipeg or whatever, it goes uphill all the way to Churchill and then uphill all the way back because it's built over a bog. They pick the bog areas to build the track. And so the weight of the train makes it sink. And so it's always going uphill. It's pretty interesting. Only to me, but whatever.
Jeff, you there?
I went on a train in New Hampshire that some of our listeners are from the Northeast. They might be familiar with this, but it's called the Cog Railway on Mount Washington.
Cog Railway?
Now, Mount Washington's where the highest wind speeds in the world have been recorded on the top of Mount Washington, like 200 and some miles an hour. Anyways, this train is coal powered and it goes up this mountain. And my cousin was married to one of the engineers of this thing. And he said, come on out, we'll ride the Cog Railway up Mount Washington. And I don't know if God just instilled in me too strong of a will to want to live or what, but I looked at this thing like, are you kidding me? But we went on it. And I'll tell you what, for something, this train has not changed in probably 5-6 decades as far as the track, the train itself. It's all kind of open. The sides, like where there's supposed to be windows, there aren't windows there anymore. You go up the side of this mountain on this train, and when you look out the window, I'll tell you, it was one of the scariest things I've ever been on. But
besides that water slide.
Any water slide where you push yourself over the edge and it feels like your butt's leaving the ground, I'm not going on that.
Wait. Is that how it felt? I didn't know that was a video of Jeff.
Yeah, that was Jeff in that video. That was Jeff. So I want to take that train that we talked about.
Yeah.
That's built through the bog. But I want to go to Churchill in the summertime, not in the winter. Everybody goes up there to look at the polar bears. No, thanks. No interest.
Yeah, those things can eat you.
I want to go up there and go fishing on Hudson Bay. Fishing can be amazing.
That would be nice.
Giant lake trout, 50-pound, 60-pound lake trout, Arctic grayling, and all sorts of cool fish. Big northern pike. Nobody ever thinks about going to Hudson Bay. Nobody.
No, nobody.
Yep. I want to go there. It's on my bucket list. I haven't gone there yet. I've been north of there, but I've never been to Hudson Bay. I want to go.
If there's fish to catch, sign me up.
Yeah. Well, we're going to have to do a Canadian fishing trip, Jeff, maybe even this summer.
Yeah, head up to we can fly in somewhere. I even enjoy the Boundary Waters. I mean, I have a great time in the Boundary Waters, but there's so many beautiful lakes once you get up into Manitoba.
Yeah. I used to drag Alex up to Guardian Eagle Lodge up in Ontario, which the reason I brought him there is because it was kind of a luxury 5-star lodge in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
This guy, Marty, built, along with, Dick Davidson and Harvey, they built this lodge. They built their own sawmill. They built it with, generator, but the generator is really far away from the camp. Built a runway on this island, which in the beginning was a little rough, but now it's, I guess, paved. But now they pick you up right down the road from me, like 2 miles down the road. Nice. So I can go down there 2 miles and be at the lodge in 3 hours, way in the middle of nowhere. And I used to bring you up there, Alex, and you used to have fun. You used to catch walleyes like crazy. I don't know. If you were kind of young, you probably don't remember too much.
Make fun of Ron Shera? Is that where that
Yeah,
is?
you used to go, Ron Shera would be there, and you'd go up to him, and I'd tell you what to say really loud, and you'd always do it. You'd go up there in front of everybody. Hey, Ron, I made the record board. You didn't. Oh my God, you were a funny kid. You were cute, pretty cute.
Yeah, what happened?
No, you're still cute. Somebody said you were. Somebody said something there about you. I don't know. It's in there somewhere. It was a compliment.
Yeah, somebody said something nice. It's long in the archives of chat, but somebody said something nice.
Yeah, somebody said something nice about you. You can review it later, Alex, and look for that compliment.
Thank you for the compliment.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, I know there are a lot of lodges up in Saskatchewan and Manitoba that are really kind of high-end appointed lodges. I mean...
Well, I think we should go to this Guardian Eagle place. It's amazing. I mean, they used to put fresh towels in your boat. You'd bring your boat back, right? And they'd have it all vacuumed and cleaned.
That's fancy there.
And this is fancy for an outpost type camp. And we were getting 30-pound northerns up there. And I used to go up there a ton. They used to fly me up for free all the time, and I could bring 5 people with me because I would do all their promotional videos. So I just, and the reason that they would allow me to bring all these people, because then I could film the people I was, with without getting, releases or ruining their vacation by filming them catch fish and talking about the lodge. And so I did that for years, but it's new ownership now.
Still fancy though.
Yeah, I want to get up there again. Let's go, Jeff.
Open up your thing of night crawlers, and they're all wearing little bathrobes.
Oh yeah. They have hot tubs or a hot tub, and they bring you champagne. And I'm not getting in a hot tub with you, so I was just telling you about what they have up there. They'll make your shore lunch for you. The food is like amazing, like 5-star food at night. And it's pretty cool.
Elon Musk has a hot tub rule.
What's that? Don't go in it.
The rule he had was with, I believe it was with him and his brother. And when they were in the hot tub, they couldn't talk about the simulation theory.
Okay. Exactly.
And I'm not making this up.
No. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. If you're really in the know, you don't go in hot tubs.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I
You just
mean, if I ended up in a hot tub and Doug was in it, it was sure as heck don't need any champagne. I can guarantee you.
What does that mean?
Yeah, I don't know, Jeff, but I'm not getting in the hot tub with you. It's never happening.
So is this a fly-in lodge then? Or?
Yeah. They pick you up right at the,
nice.
at an airport.
Nice.
They'll pick you up any airport you want. Literally any airport you want.
Small float plane only on a thundery day.
No, it's a
Reminds
real
me of the movie
Big
The
air.
Edge, where they crash the float plane hitting a flock of geese. Remember that movie, Alex? You ever see that?
The Edge.
Where they're chased by the grizzly bear, Anthony
Yeah.
Hopkins, and
Anthony
Alec
Hopkins
Baldwin.
and Alec Baldwin. Yeah, I remember that.
Of course, Doug would be the Anthony Hopkins guy because he knew all the
stuff.
Yeah, he read like 8 million books in his life, so he knew.
You knew everything.
That was a pretty high-end lodge in that movie. That was pretty fancy.
Who would you be,
Chefs
Jeff?
and everything.
Jeff, are you Alec Baldwin?
I'm probably the guy who gets eaten by the grizzly first.
Have you seen that movie, Alex?
No, I haven't. I don't
We
know.
gotta
why I
watch
haven't.
it.
You
Yeah.
got to watch it.
That's a
It
good
sounds
movie.
good.
It was a good movie.
And there's something about it's over. Anthony Hopkins' wife is part of the conflict, as I remember.
What are they doing? Are they doing research out there?
He's married. See, he's married to a younger, beautiful woman.
Yeah.
Anthony Hopkins is a rich philanthropist. Alec Baldwin works for him
Okay.
and was having an affair with Anthony Hopkins' wife.
Oh no.
But Anthony Hopkins didn't realize that. And so 3 guys are on a float plane heading out to wherever, and they hit a flock of geese and crash, and pretty soon they're being pursued by this grizzly bear, and it's a do anything you can to survive deal. It's kind of like The Revenant a little bit in that way.
That was a good movie. I enjoyed that movie.
Yeah.
It was kind of gross, but it was good.
Yeah. It definitely was good.
The Revenant, I think, probably has one of the most violent animal attack scenes.
Oh,
When that
my
grizzly
God.
bear is on him, I mean, pouncing I remember the first time I watched that movie. I mean, you about have a heart attack watching that scene.
Yeah. It's my biggest fear. I just don't want to be eaten alive by an animal. Not fun.
That's what was so interesting about that. Was it last year or the year before that those 2 wrestlers, was it Wyoming or Montana?
What happened to them?
While they were out hiking, and they had some friends that were a couple miles away from them on a parallel trail. But these 2 guys, they were wrestlers at one of these universities. I can't remember if it was Montana or Wyoming. They're in shape. 20 years old, 21 years old. They're out hiking, and a grizzly bear attacks one of them and just starts. I mean, this kid's going to die. And the other kid jumps on this bear and tries to save his friend and ends up, they both lived through it. I mean, they were tore up pretty bad, but they got out of there and lived through it. And I saw pictures of them in the hospital, the one sitting on the edge of his friend's bed, and the kid's arm was all chewed up, and his face and everything else. I mean, these guys lived through this. But
You're really selling the great outdoors, Jeff.
well, yeah.
Well, speaking of the great outdoors, I think I'm going to invest in this new camping system because camping's just such a pain. Setting up the tent.
Yeah.
But this would be really cool. I sent you a video on this, and I wanted to share it.
Is it the last video that says?
Yeah. Let's see here. I'll tell you.
This is video 3 camping.
Yeah. Let's play that. Just play it. And we can talk over it, but you can put the audio is good.
Not
video 3.
I don't here. So
But this seems like such a nice way to camp because it gets you off the ground, very easy to set up. Plus, it can be very cozy. Did you find it, Jeff? There you go.
Yep.
This also looks pretty inexpensive if you own a pickup truck.
Camper setup. Check this out. Oh, Maximus. Is this your fitness? Not.
This is my fourth, I think third fitness.
Kodiak.
Kodiak and
Kodiak.
that's what you mean anyway, but
Yeah, you're buffering pretty bad, Jeff.
Oh, is it?
come on in, check it out. We got our
There it
Oh,
goes.
cool.
But it's cool because he's got, fold down bunks. He's got carpet. He's got a heater in there. So you can extend your camping.
enough room to stand up.
Yep.
Really
You
fun
see
to
that
put pants on.
diesel,
Like the
that
carpet,
red
so
diesel
cozy.
heater?
Makes it super cozy.
Yeah.
Light.
Plus, it just gives you a little
I've got
more,
my Amazon
security from bears and so on.
Yeah,
Little
you're not right on the ground. You're
Right.
higher
It's a
up.
little bit better. Keep you safe from the Bigfoots.
I've seen some different truck bed tent setups, but they weren't as nice as this one.
Yeah, this is just, it's a cool tent, and I don't think it would be too hard to put it up. But this may be the route I go.
3 friends sitting on the
I'm getting old.
Easy.
And then we've got
You know?
the other, I have and then another one that goes
It
across.
looks
Pretty
convenient.
good size.
Like,
But you see that heater? I wanted to, I sent you a photo of that too.
These post
A lot of people don't know about these new diesel heaters.
Yeah.
and it's just
All right, we can stop that. Put up photo 1, Jeff.
This, essentially line.
There we go. Put up photo 1. There's a whole line of these diesel heaters, and they're only $100. I mean, literally. But on a gallon of diesel fuel, God, you can heat your garage, you can heat the inside of your truck, you can heat the inside of a tent. You just got to be careful of venting it properly. There you go. But you can go on Amazon. This is the one he had. But this one's like 150. It's pretty much in the high end. It even has a remote control. But it's they're pretty cool. Very efficient. I think these were developed in China and they're still being made in China. But Amazon has probably 20 different kinds you can get. You read the reviews and pick one out. Be kind of a handy thing to have, don't you think,
How
Jeff?
many BTUs does it put out?
I don't
Does it get
know
pretty hot?
exactly. Yeah. People talk about heating their, whole garage. It takes the edge out. I mean, it's not a permanent solution to heating something, but for a gallon of diesel fuel, it'll keep a tent warm the entire night.
Well,
And you
what's
you
cool
need a
about
battery.
it's got a variable setting on it, which is nice because most of these heaters up until now, they'll put out 15,000 BTU or 30,000. It's like you get 2 shots and one's way too hot and one's not enough. It's nice to be able to have that variable so you can get it exactly where you want it to be for that.
Yeah, you can dial it in with your remote control. But these are quiet. They do need a glow plug, to get them fired up. So you have to have a 12-volt battery. And then it does use electricity because it's got to keep that glow plug going. But it goes down to like 10 watts. Starts out like maybe 130 watt draw. So one deep cycle battery will run these. But perfect for that, like that guy's setup. But this is just something for Bigfooters that some people aren't aware of these. Some are.
Nice because you can pull the boat and still have a place to sleep, right?
Yeah. But what's cool about this? It's cheap. It's $100.
Yeah.
That's very affordable for a heater with a remote control on it, So I don't know.
Yeah, I've seen those truck bed type camp tents, but every one that I've ever looked at, they're just not built that well. This thing looked like it was built really well. So
Yeah. Yeah, well, what I like about it too, you fill it up once and use it all night. You don't have to worry about it. Certainly, this would be great to have in camp if you're out in the fall or a hunting camp, just to warm your hands up, you know. And I think this would be allowed where they go dark on fires, where you have to have a cold camp. I think you can use one of these. I believe.
Well, I'm up for any type of a camp setup that's comfortable and still allows you to pull the boat somewhere. So
yeah, you would think, why not just sleep in the damn boat?
yeah, you'd think somebody should, like Ranger or one of those boat manufacturers that's really popular. The
It
Ranger
becomes a boat camper.
If you could come up with that type of setup in that truck to fit on your boat bow to stern, you'd be pretty popular, because
Yeah.
a lot of those tournament fishermen and stuff, they're traveling around blowing 200 and some bucks a night in hotels and everything else. If they could camp, they'd just as well do that. But
Yep, absolutely.
A tent pontoon.
I used to sleep in my runabout, but only for a short time. Like I'd anchor somewhere because it was pouring rain. I'd be on the other side of the lake. I would just fold my seat out, lay down, put the top up, throw maybe a sucker minnow out the window and go to sleep, But yeah, no, it'd be cool. Be cool. I'm just kind of got the itch to get something like a camper or, just so done with sleeping on the ground and,
yeah, you got to find that happy medium in my mind. I don't, if we're going to be really remote, and like if you're going into the boundary water or something, I get it. You're pretty limited in what you can do. But when it comes to camping, I don't want to pull a fifth wheel around. I don't want to pull a camper around. And I don't really want to stay in a pup tent sleeping on top of a tree root somewhere. I mean,
I had a fifth wheel once, Jeff. Beautiful toy hauler fifth wheel. Loved it. But the problem is when you're not using it, they go to hell if you don't park them inside. So the whole roof went to hell very quickly, and water leaked in and damaged the whole damn thing. And I had to, do an insurance claim.
They have slide out and all that on it.
You had a slide out. You had a gas pump for your ATVs in the back. TV, it's got the whole thing in the bedroom. Super nice, super expensive, but didn't last. It's junk.
Yeah.
The roof is always the weakest link.
Well, especially here in Minnesota, where if it's parked outside, the roof's going to have 5 foot of snow on it all half the year. But,
yeah, so
there's no doubt. You go to them camper, you go to these sportsman shows that are going on here this time of year in the spring. I'll tell you what, they make some pretty darn nice fifth wheels, and they're huge investments. Huge investments.
Yeah.
But you've got to use the thing 4 or 5 days. You've got to be kind of at that retired stage of life to be able to make it work financially, unless you've just got a heck of a lot of disposable income. But you see people buy a $200,000 camper.
It's the storage. Where do you store the damn things?
Yeah. A buddy of mine just rented what is it? I think it's 50 foot by 30 foot area, heated, to store a bunch of stuff for his business, stores his boat there and stuff. He's paying like $500 a month. I said, geez, you could build that on your property if you had the extra quarter acre to do it and make the payment to the bank on it. Why are you paying somebody else that,
Yeah.
But,
do you ever wanted a camper, Alex? Motorhome?
Yes and no. I think they're awesome, but yeah, I mean the maintenance and where do you park them and getting 4 miles of the gallon.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, the mileage. It's not good.
I grew up in a family where we always camped. I mean, every weekend we were camping. And what was funny is I had a dad who didn't see the value in buying anything new or even really anything that nice for that matter. And he never really talked to my mom about, hey, we're going to spend this and buy that. He'd just come home from work with like a 1966 Ford pickup truck with this gigantic pickup camper on it and say, look what I found today, But We were always camping up in northern Minnesota with my mom had 4 sisters and 1 brother, and I probably had like 30 some cousins, and we would go a couple weeks every summer, just as a whole extended family, you know, up there camping, and that's something I'll always remember.
Yeah, well, that sounds fun. So there's people on YouTube making super lightweight little pull-behind campers for their e-bikes. And they're made out of like corrugated plastic. There's just some really interesting videos on YouTube of people how to build them. And you pull them with your e-bikes. And you can just pull over and camp.
Do they break down and then set up then? Or?
Nope. No, just look up e-bike camper on YouTube. There's tons and tons of videos. People building them.
Better be out of the wind.
Pretty cool designs. I mean, they have kitchens in them and all sorts of stuff, but they're super lightweight. Yep. Super cool.
Jeff, do you want to pull some up?
Yeah. What do you want me to pull up? Oh, you some of those campers? I wouldn't even know where to look for those.
Well, just type on e-bike camper.
Okay. Well, let's see what comes up.
Electric bike camper. There's
sorry, Jeff. I'm giving you a hard time. It's just
Alex.
Well, I'm willing to try it.
I'm normally in your hot seat.
We get e-bike camp. Wow. Okay.
Oh, there's a ton of videos.
I don't know if these are. Oh, well, this one might be made. So,
and if it's a video on how to make them, just shoot to the end of the video to show them.
It's not a video.
Cool.
I just looked up images, and there's
No. Go to YouTube. Come on, Jeff. You can do it.
Give me a minute here. Well, we got to watch a whole how-to video on how to make the darn things. Okay.
No. We don't want to watch that part, but some of them are pretty cool. So I've got the itch, you know. That's what gave me the itch to get something cool to go camping in. There's places like the Paul Bunyan Trail that goes through 150 miles of wilderness, you know. Be fun to take a 100-mile trip in an e-bike and just pull over and camp.
Yeah, just hope you don't run out of battery power. 100 miles.
No, they'll even put solar panels.
Oh, nice.
Oh, it's everything.
Okay, cool. So you got solar.
Yeah, they're charging their batteries. They're doing everything.
That's cool.
It is cool. So basically, you're unlimited.
So you could go anywhere.
It's true. The electric e released an upgrade to the XP 2.0, which is
why are we watching this?
What's this guy doing on our channel?
Yeah, but I said to type in camper, not e-bike review. That's an e-bike review.
Is this the best e-bike for the money?
I pulled
up. Well, there's a skip ad.
That's what we're looking at.
Clear why more and more products.
Now what are we watching?
What
the
is
rounded
going on?
edges, synonymous with most.
Oh, there it is. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, there you go. These are different ones. But there's just a lot of really cool designs people are coming up with. I think they're cool.
The Martha.
Yeah, turn the volume down.
Who named this? The Martha.
Turn the volume off, Jeff.
It's off.
There we go.
Okay.
So there's
let
one.
me find the volume here. There we go.
No,
So
we don't.
Is that
we
a
want it
heater?
off. We want it off. There you go.
You got toilet paper, a
Yeah, they have
fork.
little kitchens and
So I
Bigfoot
think
to put
this
his
video has a bunch of different styles of campers.
yeah.
So I'm just gonna kind of fast.
They're kinda
forward to
cool.
it, see if there's different ones.
There she is.
But you could pull it with an ATV, you know, you could pull it. There you go. That's kind of a lame looking one, but
Oh, it has a tent
Oh, cool.
add-on thing to it.
yeah, there you go. Some pretty innovative ones here.
E-bike camper.
Alex is buying that one. That one. I like that one. It's kind of cool.
The Mahdi.
Oh, I can just buy one? What?
Yeah, these
Really?
are all for sale. These are.
Oh, and look at the
Right.
price. Oh, thanks. $7,000. Yeah, right.
That's a lot of nights in a hotel room.
No,
Buy a
thanks.
used Harley for that.
No, I'd build my own. Yeah, that's good. You know, they're nice and they're cool, but you better go camping a lot if you're going to spend $7,000 on one of them little things.
Look at this thing. This thing inflates here.
Oh, that's the one for me.
Yeah, me too.
So it's a pop of it, just inflates. Just
Huh. Yeah, the inflatable. Yeah, I've seen some of these inflatable tents. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Alex's Luck Bear would come along and pop it.
yeah.
I love how they had a sample of it built in the middle of the city. Like, just hang out.
They're not mountain lion proof, you know what I mean?
Yeah. They're
No,
not coyote
they're
proof.
not.
So that's
No, they're
interesting.
not. Anyhow, I don't
I
know.
do like the idea of making your own though.
Yeah, just what I
If
need.
you use
Another
corrugated
project.
plastic on the outside for the siding.
Yeah.
And maybe
So it's
some
really just
aluminum.
building a lightweight frame, you know, out of aluminum and
Yeah.
put bike wheels on it. And
Kind of like they do with a lot of those ice shacks now. You know, all the studded framework is all just aluminum that doesn't weigh anything, you know?
yeah. True. So I'm just looking for something different to do for Bigfoot. And it's kind of cool. Well, we should probably wind this up. I got to get back
Yeah,
to
you'll
work.
never
I know.
make anything that's Bigfoot proof, so you might as
No,
well.
no.
What's the point?
They'll just hurl you like
make
a
it
torpedo.
inflatable.
Yeah. Well, thanks for having us on, Jeffrey.
Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you, Jeff.
I
for
appreciate you
putting up
guys
with us.
coming on.
Well, we got to get to work. I don't
We
know
had-
about you, but
When I was getting feedback on, you know, the different hosts to have on, boy, once I got into we should get Alex on, people were going nuts. So everybody
yeah.
wanted
Yeah,
Alex to come on.
sure. Buttering me up, Jeff.
No, I'm not. I'm serious. Look, it's a mystery to me too, Alex. I don't know why, but I mean,
I don't know.
You
There
gotta
it goes.
get Alex on.
People like
He's
you, Alex.
hilarious. They thought you'd bring
People like
donuts
you.
and everything to the.
Yeah,
Yeah.
why didn't you? Where's the donuts?
I still don't have donuts.
So
Yeah.
you guys on Wednesday night on your show, you're going to be looking into this per sound recording that Tristan.
Yes, very interesting because other people have reported the same sound, and so tune in, and you're going to hear some pretty amazing stuff, and you're going to have it's a whole new discussion.
Is that the show we're doing with David Ellis
Yes, that's Wednesday. Yep.
and Mark Peterson?
Yeah, Mark will be on too. Yep.
Cool. And he's had some encounters.
Yes. Yeah, and he's been affected by some things. Yeah, and he'll tell that story. It's pretty amazing.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right. Well, thanks, Jeff. And we're gonna sneak out of here. I know
All right.
Alex has got a jillion things to get done today.
Yeah, Alex, you probably got a whole laundry list of stuff Doug puts on your checklist every day.
Not me.
No, never Doug.
He does it to himself.
All right, guys. It was
But
great.
thanks everybody for joining too, and
Thank you.
thanks for all the donations, and please check out Legend Meet Science Kickstarter campaign. We'd
Yep.
appreciate it.
Check it out.
All right, thanks. Bye.
We'll see you.
Thanks, Jeff. Bye.
Well, and on my show tonight, Pine Island Research at 9 p.m. Eastern, we're going to have Brendan and Chuck from Catskill Appalachian Research Collective on. Was going to have them last week, kind of screwed up. My bad on the scheduling, but they're going to be on tonight. It's going to be an interesting conversation talking about what they've been up to. And if you're able to join us, I look forward to seeing you. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining us here in the Untold Radio Network studios for coffee time. We will see you next week, Monday morning.